up, you guys? It is your local problematic Leo, and we are back with another installment of monthly favorites. Only about like a week late, but we're gonna try to ignore that fact. Now, as always, we're gonna go ahead and kick things off with a little bit of diet, then we'll move into skincare and finish things off with aesthetics. And trust me, I feel like this month is gonna be a weird one. Okay, so you know how I said this episode was gonna be a little bit weird? We're gonna kick things off with something that is not my favorite, but it's not good, it's just different. So I actually saw this at my local grocery store, and this is Coke Zero in the orange vanilla flavor. And instantly, in my brain, I was like, that sounds absolutely disgusting. So I went ahead and tweeted it out, and everybody was telling me like, oh my god, no, it tastes like an orange creamsicle, it's actually amazing. So I had to go and check it out. But when I went back to my grocery store, it was all sold out. And I was like, wait, it's gone? Orange vanilla Coke Zero is gone from my grocery store like overnight. Like, when did that happen? It must be pretty good. So I went to another grocery store and it was all sold out there too. And I was like, this must be magic. I have to try this flavor out. So I actually went to a third grocery store where I did actually manage to get my hands on it. Now, this is my last can of this baby. And I'm not gonna say that it's good, because to be completely honest with you, orange and vanilla is already a weird flavor. And then when you mix it with Coke, it's even a little bit more weird. However, when I initially drank this, I was like, oh, that's odd. And then I continued to drink it and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of good. So I want to go ahead and show you my preferred way of having the Coke Zero orange vanilla flavor. So this is actually a virgin cup of Coke Zero. And as you can see, I've got maybe about like a third of a can in there. So what I do is actually pour the Coke Zero orange vanilla into the virgin Coke Zero. And like, it kind of just takes the intensity of the orange and vanilla down. You can still smell it. It kind of smells like a chocolate orange, and it's really good in this way. Otherwise, I think it's just a little bit too potent for me, but I will say it's a nice change from just guzzling down bottle after bottle after bottle of Coke Zero. You need to mix it up every now and then, and it's nice for the summer. You know, Coke Zero, it would be nice if you sponsor this video or any of my videos. You can find me on the internet at A Gay Guy Plays. You know, I'm gonna just leave this right here, a little bit of product placement. Maybe that might change your mind and you might decide that you wanna come see your boy. Okay, so while Coke Zero orange vanilla flavor is technically keto friendly, it's not my favorite. Coke Zero is the eternal favorites. However, I wanted to go ahead and introduce you to a few things that I actually was able to find in my grocery, which is not something that you can always do with low carb stuff, but I find that my local Rayleigh's is like really picking up their game. And the first thing, and I feel like these have been around for a while, is actually low carb tortillas. Now this one is from Tortilla Factory. And it's 6 grams of net carb for a pretty big tortilla. This is the whole wheat version. There is a flour version that's a little bit smaller, and it's also 6 net carbs. Now, technically, like, that's still a good bit of carbs. However, recently I've been craving quesadillas, so I do this. I do some cheese, I do some chicken, just shred that up in there, put a little low carb barbecue sauce in there, or like some tapatio, which is 0 carbs, and it's a nice and tasty treat. So if you haven't checked out the tortilla area of your grocery store for some low carb stuff, they exist. They're there. You can find them. This is only one of the brands. There's another brand which I think is the generic Mission brand that you should be able to find, and they've got some low carb versions as well. However, I just bought these ones, and that's my excuse for that. Okay, so this next favorite got me really confused, because I was actually looking up the nutritional info on the back, and number one, really excited because these are peanut butter cups from Lily's, and this is the milk chocolate version. You guys know I am not a part of the dark chocolate mafia, because they're out there and they're trying to convince you that dark chocolate tastes good, and they're liars. I'm just saying, they're absolute liars. Do not believe them. It is milk chocolate all the way. So when the milk chocolate peanut butter cups from Lily's came to my grocery store, I was like, what? And I was just reading the back to check out the carb count on these. because it's 15 grams of carbohydrates, but we're looking for net carbs, right? And they've got 6 grams of fiber, so that brings it down to 9, if my math is right. And then they've got 7 grams of erythritol in this, which would only put it at 2 grams of carbs for 2 peanut butter cups. Now, they're not the same size as the Reese's ones. They're a little bit smaller, but just like a hair smaller than the Reese's peanut butter cups. So I'm thinking in my head, so that's like 1 gram of net carbs per cup? And I'm sorry, I was mildly astounded that that was the case. So you can have 1 peanut butter cup and just knock out 1 carb for your day and just be like, that's it. That's the 1-to-1 ratio. That's a nice, easy way to remember your carbs. So if you have not checked your local grocery store for this as well, definitely take a look for that because they exist in my little podunk grocery store. Look at you, Rayleigh. Look at you. So if you follow me on Twitter, you may have occasionally caught me bitching and moaning about the fact that my grocery store was completely out of Coke Zero, but that's mainly because of the fact that it's caught in a little bit of a low-carb gang war. Legitimately, I will stroll up in there and shelves will be bare, and trust me, you do not mess with my Coke Zero intake. I will leave there with a cart full of Coke Zero just to clear the shelves completely and make my mark and say, listen, these are my Coke Zeros, okay? Now, the same can be said about these ice creams because legitimately, Rebel Creamery is pretty fucking bomb. And let me tell you right now, they're super duper keto friendly. So I'm not sure if you can read the front of that. Yeah, that is their grams of carbs per pint. That is not per serving, okay? Like, I've seen Halo Top, like, have about 4 grams of carbs per serving and, like, 4 servings in the entire thing. No. You see the 7 grams? It's for the entire pint, and it's actually, I'm gonna say this, I actually like this better than Halo. So, for me, they've got cookie dough, and that's 7 grams of carbs. Listen, I'm not gonna eat an entire pint, but I know that if I do want to eat an entire pint, I know what the total is in my head. Then we've got peanut butter fudge, which I'm going to be honest with you is kind of lower on the totem pole for me, but it is 8 grams of carbs, so if you want to treat yourself to something a little bit more peanut buttery, you can get your hands on this. Now this one to me is one of the other stars of the show. Really, it would come down to cookie dough and mint chip, and this one's only 6 grams of carbs. Now, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, they do have the same issue that I feel like a lot of low-carb ice creams have, where they're a little bit flaky, but they don't taste flaky. You know how sometimes with certain like ice creams you can taste that flakiness? With these ones, not at all. They're really, really like, as soon as you put them in your mouth, they're just creamy and delicious. The flavors are just on point. They never feel like weird and artificial. At least not like artificial to the point where you can be like, oh, that's because you're low carb. Sometimes you'll taste artificialness and you're like, that's because you're an ice cream that's not like freshly prepared, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things, but these I just love to be able to like toss in the fridge and know that if I don't eat a whole one, then that's great. That's less than 7 grams of carbs. Absolutely fantastic. And these are actually made specifically for keto too, because they do have high fat in there. So if you are experiencing any kind of like low energy, especially when you're starting out on keto, one of the big mistakes is to not have fats. But your body is slowly learning how to run off of fat. So sometimes if you're feeling a little bit run down, you need a high fat food to kind of like boost you up there. And this will definitely give you a nice sweet kick to the mouth and give you those fats that you need to kind of keep you going. So if you have not checked it out yesterday, if you have not checked it out yesterday, you should have gone yesterday and checked these out because these are absolutely fantastic. And just to show you guys how committed I am to the low carb gang war, yes, that's right, that is 3 pints of cookie dough right there. I'm leaving my mark, okay? The refreshing taste of Coke Zero Vanilla Orange. Orange vanilla? Ah, fuck, I'm never getting that sponsorship. Now, moving into skincare, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I haven't run into any products that have absolutely astounded me, at least not any new products that have really made me go, oh, that's good. However, I have incorporated a couple new items into my routine that are looking very promising. Because when it comes to skincare, I don't wanna like jump the gun and be like, oh my god, it's absolutely amazing, try it ASAP. I usually like to give it a little bit more time, and because of the fact that some of these items are a little newer, I didn't want to claim them as my favorites, so when I'm showing them off, they're not favorites, they're just looking quite promising. Kicking things off, we have the Niacinamide Brightening Toner by Good Molecules. Now, in my previous empties video, I did say that I wanted to go ahead and try this out. So this is more of a hydrating toner. It's definitely not astringent in any way, shape, or form, doesn't dry your skin at all, but it does infuse it with a little bit of that niacinamide that is great for tightening up the pores. It's good for brightening the skin, and supposedly it also helps with wrinkles just a little bit too. So I've been using it. I really like the consistency. It absorbs into the face really, really nicely. I actually use this almost as like a serum toner, like before I put on any of the other hydrating toners. So this touches my skin first because I want the active ingredients to rub itself all over my face and make me look pretty. I'm really, really liking it so far, but like I said in my empties videos, I really look to see if I can see any, what do you call this? Like, effects. You know, I want to see it do some work on my mug before I start giving it some credit. However, so far so good, and it doesn't pill or do anything weird like some of the other niacinamide items I've had in the past. Moving along, we have another Good Molecules product that I am desperately trying not to tip over because it's actually a powder. This is the Vitamin C Booster Powder, and it's 100% L-ascorbic acid. So as you guys know, vitamin C compounds tend to be a little bit volatile, so they can oxidize and kind of lose potency, but in its powder form, it retains 100% potency, and you can actually go ahead and mix this in with creams, serums, even toners to give yourself a little bit of that pure vitamin C boost, which I'm very, very fond of. I've only used it a couple times because I still have some of my old vitamin C that I want to go ahead and use up, but I have mixed this in with toners, I've mixed it in with my hyaluronic acid, and the cool thing about it is, with my previous vitamin C serum that I've been using, I don't get any kind of like stimulation, right? I don't really feel anything. It's nice and hydrating to the skin, and I feel like it helps a little bit, but I think because of the fact that this is 100% L-ascorbic acid and you just basically directly apply it to your face, and it's got a little bit more intensity than some of the things that I've tried in the past, but it does not make my face burn, but it definitely you feel something. You feel it, you're like, oh, okay. It's like a little mild pat to the face, not like a full-on smack, but it's like a little, and you're like, something's happening. So I can't wait to finish up my other bottle and really dig deep into this one because I think that it's gonna do some great things on your skin. And for those of you guys who don't know what vitamin C does for your skin, it also brightens, firms, and something else, provides antioxidants, which fight aging. So it's all good. All right, and the last skincare item that I'm very excited about is actually this sample of the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. It's the berry flavor. Now, I'm trying this out because I got it as a sample in my previous Sephora order, and I kind of want to do a battle of the bombs. As you guys know, I love a good lip care moment, and I'm a big fan of the Jack Black lip balm. I've also been playing around with the Balm.com from Glossier, and I kind of want to pit them up against each other to see which one is the best. So I want to go ahead and use this one for a week and then jump back into the Jack Black's one just to see where I feel about everything and figure out where my next purchase is going to be. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to go up against my Jack Black lip balm, and I know this is technically a lip sleeping mask, but listen, I've watched so many YouTube reviews and everybody's like, I use it like a lip balm on a daily basis, and I'm like, well, I can do that too, and it does feel quite nice on the lips. It also has a great scent to it. I don't know what it is, but it kind of, well, it's berry, because that's what it's called, is berry, but it reminds me of something from when I was a child. So part of me is like, oh, I love it. Plus it's got some other really great flavors, scents. I was gonna say scents, but I guess it's flavors, but you don't really consume it. So I guess it's a scent. I don't know what to call it. Let me know down in the comments below. But there is a grapefruit one and a pear one that I wanna try too at some point, but we'll see. We'll see if this stands up to the test of repurchasing, and then we'll jump into it. But so far, so good. All right, so I guess my hair is now in open rebellion in the middle of a video. Thank you very much. Did not realize you decided to clock out early, but we can make things work without you. So moving along into aesthetics. There are definitely a lot of pretty makeup things that I have enjoyed this month. In fact, I've enjoyed them a little too much. My bank account is currently crying, but let's jump into the things that make me feel just a little bit better. Okay, so first up we have these Just a Tint lip crayons from Colourpop, and these ones are absolutely fantastic. I've been on the search for something that, you know, will color my lips but not necessarily dry them out. Now don't get me wrong, these are definitely not going to replace a balm. I tried it and it did not fare well. However, they definitely don't dry out the lips. They have a nice kind of like creamy, slick feeling on the lips, and they are a tint. Now I do want you guys to keep in mind, they're not just a tint. You can definitely build them up to have some color impact. However, on top of a lip balm, it's nice and sheer and it's very, very pretty. And then on top of that, you can go ahead and kind of like start building to get some real pigmentation. But all in all, I think that these are absolutely fantastic. So the three colors that I picked up are Gimme S'more. This is a nice nude that you can just use if you want to feel plain. We have Z-Boys, which makes you look a little bit more alive. This is definitely my favorite color out of all of them. It's another nude. It's got a little bit more of like a brownie yellow tone, but again, it's sheer, so it's not necessarily going to make a massive difference. However, the cool thing about this is you can definitely tell the difference between these two, and you know, nudes, sometimes it's hard to tell, but even as just a tint, you can definitely tell the difference between Z-Boys and Gimme S'more. And then the last one is City of Stars, and this one I have to apply over a lip balm, otherwise it makes my lips look way too pink. So like I was saying, even though this is like a pinky nude, it is definitely one of those ones that is just a tint if you do it lightly, but more if you build it up. So personally, I like to stick to these two, but occasionally I'll do a little bit of this on like the inner part of my lip, and then I'll use like Gimme S'more on the outside of it, and it's quite nice. I really like them, and it's another win for Colourpop. Now, I realized that I've gone this entire video and I completely forgot to put these on my mouth, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. So that is Z-Boys on the lips, and if I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I was a little bit scared that it wasn't gonna show up at all, but as you can see, it's definitely kind of evened out my lips. And previous to this, I know my lips naturally are a little bit brown gray and they can kind of look a little bit dead, so it's nice to kind of liven them up a little bit with just a tint of color. And it tastes like guava, or smells like guava. I can't tell, is it my sense of smell making me taste it like it's guava, or does it actually taste like guava? It might taste like guava? I don't know! All of my senses are blurring together. I don't know how to cope with this. So earlier this month, I actually went ahead and reviewed the BH Zodiac Leo palettes, and I think we can all agree that that was a resounding ugh. Now, I definitely didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people did. However, it was a bit redundant. We got a lot of bronzes. They were like, hey Leo, you're a bronze. I'm like, are we really though? However, you know it has a lot of options in there? Yes, that is right. The BH Zodiac palettes, I have the original and I have the love signs right here, and I have been enjoying them a lot. Now, in the original Zodiac palette, I'm gonna be able to show it without like fucking things up. Probably not. I did it. Look at that. The mirror is beneath. I'm so good at this. Oh my god. The like lighting is off now. Why is it darker now? Oh no. Oh, let's do it like that. Don't be mad at me. But as you can see, this actually offers a nice variety of shades for you to play around with. The original palette is a little bit cooler, which I quite like. And then the other palette, which is the Love Signs palette, is much warmer and a lot brighter. So this one is more like cool and kind of like laid back. This one is like, bitch, it's summer, let's play! And I quite enjoy both of them. Today I'm actually wearing something from the original palette, which is Pisces is the shimmer all over the lid. Then I also used Aquarius as the transition shade and the Pisces matte shade as a little bit of a liner. And again, color correction has decided to step in and kind of fuck around a little bit. But these two palettes are absolutely fantastic, and they consistently go on like 30 to 50% off on sale on the BH site, so definitely make sure to pick it up when they are on sale. The other thing that I have to point out, the fucking filling that they use in their boxes, my cat absolutely loves the shit out of those. So if I'm gonna be real with you, I kind of want to put in another BH order just so that I could get more of that filling, because I don't think I've seen my cat play with anything more in his life than those goddamn like they're weird like net things that are made out of cardboard. So you know what, that's Apollo's favorite for this month. You got a little bonus there for your pets. And for those of you guys who are curious about the formulation of these, I found that the mattes performed quite well. I didn't have any issues with them whatsoever. There was a little bit of kick up in the pan itself, nothing insanely major. However, what really wins it over for me are all of these circular shimmers that are in there. I believe that they're their baked formula, and they're so fucking good. They're so glittery and so shimmery, and I just love the hell out of them. I actually want to go ahead and pick up some of their other baked shadows just because of the fact that all of these in both palettes are so freaking fantastic. So if there's any good thing I'm gonna recommend, it's definitely gonna be the Zodiac palettes, or just get the baked palette itself just if you want shimmers, because I believe their baked are just shimmers. Alright, and the final set of items that I wanted to go ahead and mention in the aesthetics category is something that I've never talked about on this channel before, and it's really kind of fucking weird, but yeah, it's brushes. I didn't think that I would ever like really truly love a brush, but these are actually the Wet n Wild Pac-Man collection brushes, and look at them, they're so fucking cute. They're so shimmery in the handle and all that kind of stuff. I love them. So these are actually both of the brushes. I believe that this is the eyeshadow brush, and then this is the kind of like powder brush. Now the powder brush is really, really fantastic for applying your blush. Now the reason I like it is because occasionally I get a little too heavy-handed. I actually picked up, I think it was in my previous favorites video, when I had the neons from 3CE and the multi-pots. I actually used this to kind of like stipple in there and then like kind of like drop it onto my cheeks. But the hairs on this are so soft, and they're dense, but they're not so insanely dense where it picks up just the right amount of product and then you can slowly build. It's not like any of those brushes where you dip them in and then like you literally immediately press it to your face and you have this big spot. You don't have to worry about that. It's just nice and soft. It's a little bit flat, which is the shape that I kind of like. You know, it's not like completely circular for blush specifically, because I feel like I like to go like straight across my cheek and like slowly carve in certain directions. I don't want just like a big circle, because I think it's a little bit odd. So this one I thought was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. It's super duper soft. Now this one on the other end of the spectrum is a little bit more firm. It's a little bit densely packed, and this little dome brush, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it. Well, I'll get close up somewhere. But legitimately, it's just amazing for getting underneath your eye and really like, this probably doesn't sound great, but really kind of like blending, I wanted to say grinding that eyeshadow into your like lash line underneath there. I actually really liked it a lot for that, because of the fact that and I think you might have seen it in my previous video, because I didn't blend enough. Well, actually I have a lot of skincare on, so there was a lot of movement in there, but I really like to get in there and kind of like pack it in and kind of like smoke it out. It's absolutely fantastic for that. And then for this upper lid area, what I like to do is I like to line it with a different brush. It's like a pencil brush, also from Wet n Wild. And I'll kind of create a little shadow shape, and then I'll use this to blend it out. And I just have been finding this so much more handy than I thought I did, because I didn't think that I would need a shape like this. It's like flat and it's a dome and it's dense, and I was like, I'm not gonna need that anywhere, but apparently I did. So I'm definitely happy that I picked both of these up. I actually have backups of them, and they're so cute. They're just so adorable. Ah! I'm a simple man. It's easy to please me. And finally we arrive at what is possibly my most favorite of the month, and that is of course Fez from Euphoria. Now, if you've never watched Euphoria, it is a series on HBO now, and I would highly suggest that you prep yourself with some stand-up comedies to watch afterwards, because it's a heavy series. I'm just letting you know that right now. It's gonna take a toll on your body and soul, but if you do watch it, you might catch my husband. He's in pharmaceuticals, and he runs a very lucrative business. He's a little protective. You know, he gets a little stern from time to time, but he's got a very good heart. So if you haven't checked it out, be sure to do it if you can. If you've got HBO now, or some form of HBO, I don't know how any of this works. Just watch it if you can, okay? So that about does it for this installment of my monthly favorites. If you guys could go ahead and do me a big favor, and down in the comments below, let me know what your favorite lip balm is. I kind of want to include something maybe more drugstore priced in the battle of the balms, because legitimately, the drugstore has some great finds in there, as well as everything in Sephora and up. So let me know, especially if there's anything else that I should just try in general. Toss that in there as well. So that does it for me for now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Me and Fez will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.